It's morning again in farm country. Today, as the men and women of American agriculture wake to feed, harvest, and tend, they'll be more productive than at any time in our country's history, utilizing fewer resources, being more precise, and focusing on an increasingly sustainable future. America's agriculture machine is feeding a global population racing toward 10 billion people. Today's top producers are the business leaders who take risks, dedicate endless hours, manage down to the decimal point, and maximize yields. We know agriculture isn't just your livelihood, it's your passion. Let's reflect on past successes, focus on an even brighter future. It's morning again in farm country. Thank you for your vital role in feeding the world and leading multi-generational businesses.
Off this night of celebration, let's get started with tonight's program. For all of us joining the live broadcast, thank you for joining us in Nashville. I'm Sarah Schaefer, editor of Top Producer Magazine and your host for the evening. So here's a preview of the fun we're going to have tonight. You're about to meet the leaders of 5 amazing farm operations. As we honor the winners and finalists for the Tomorrow's Top Producer Horizon Award, the EWA Trailblazer Award, and our Top Producer of the Year Award. You'll learn about each award, hear from our sponsoring companies, and then meet the winners. So let's get started. First up, we will honor the 2021 Tomorrow's Top Producer Horizon Award winner. This prestigious award recognizes a producer under the age of 35 who demonstrates excellence in the business of farming. This includes marketing, farm finance, technology, as well as family and employee relations. The winner of this reward receives a Top Producer of the Year honorees farm, as well as access to AgLead University, an online business training platform, as well as some great prizes from our sponsors. So speaking of that award sponsor, we are very thankful to partner again with Pioneer on this award. Joining us via video is Doug Reynolds, Pioneer Marketing and Digital Communications Lead. So let's hear a few words from Doug.
Hello, I'm Doug Reynolds, Marketing Communications Leader for Pioneer at Corteva Agriscience. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of Pioneer Seeds to thank you for participating in the Tomorrow's Top Producer event as we recognize the Horizon Award winner. The award honors a young producer who demonstrates excellence in the business of farming, including marketing, farm finance, family, employee relations, and technology. Entrants for this award are also judged on their entrepreneurial originality, something we know a little bit about at Pioneer. You see, in 1926, Henry Wallace founded Pioneer based on a vision and drive to be innovative in helping farmers be more productive and profitable by growing hybrid seed corn. This year, in 2021, Pioneer will celebrate 95 years of being a leading brand in agriculture with a business built on world-class genetics, leading traits, innovative technology, and superior agronomic service. Today, Pioneer is the global flagship seed brand of Corteva Agriscience, with a purpose to enrich the lives of those who produce and those who consume, ensuring progress for generations to come. This translates into a better understanding of the needs and aspirations of farmers and our partners in the food value chain, as well as consumers. We are committed to championing farmer success through innovative products and services, advocating for farmers on key issues, investing in our communities, promoting sustainable farming practices, and continuing to honor today's farmer leaders who are helping shape the industry of agriculture while inspiring future generations. That's why we are proud to sponsor the Horizon Award for the 6th consecutive year. Thank you for joining today to help honor our winners.
Pioneer. So now let me tell you about our 2021 winner. Matt Splitter hopes to be the middle chapter of a long book. The 5th generation from Lyons, Kansas, and the change on his family's row crop operation. After graduating college, Matt faced the challenge so many other young farmers see, a farm that's not quite big enough to support 2 families. A year later, in 2010, his father died, so Matt and his wife Jana stepped up to the plate and began farming the family's 1,400 acres. This was not the path that Matt envisioned, but he was thankful for the opportunity. The couple worked to assess the operation and surround themselves with good people and mentors. It was those well-cultivated relationships that have propelled Splitter Farms forward. Today, the operation includes 7,000 acres of corn, soybeans, wheat, and grain sorghum. They also provide custom farm work, which increases the covered acres to 15,000. Matt is focused on building long-term relationships with everyone from his accountant to his crop insurance agent, as well as the team's 9 full-time and 3 seasonal employees. To help with retention, each year they host a thank you event after harvest for the team and their families. Matt is focused on right-sizing his operation by maximizing time, equipment, and labor. As Matt's lender says, Matt is constantly looking over the horizon to prepare, adapt, and lead his operation to the next successful level in an ever-changing business of farming. Now, let's take a trip to Kansas with this video from our friends at Ag Day.
Settled on these central Kansas acres.
We are a 5th-generation farm. Our family came to central Kansas by way of a Baptist colony that moved here in 1878.
Is a family whose farm history is rooted deep.
And so we actually have some of the farm ground that was given to our family through the Homestead Act.
Today, Matthew Splitter prides himself on being highly efficient.
We are looking at our costs very, very closely. We are utilizing our labor very efficiently. We are using maybe smaller equipment. Instead of 1 big sprayer, we use 2 smaller sprayers. That actually lowers our costs, so we're more efficiently doing our applications.
This 35-year-old spread includes wheat, corn, soybeans, and grain sorghum. The farm is 100% no-till, tapping into efficiency with every pass. A steady rotation with a steady plan, but one that was founded following an untraditional path.
I was adopted into this family, and so one of our biggest keys in our operation is to just take what we've been given, the opportunity and the assets, make them better, and then give them to the next generation.
Both of Matt's parents have PhDs. His dad was a corn breeder in Nepal. After he returned to this Kansas land in the late 70s, education was always key.
After my father passed away in the spring of 2010, we had the opportunity to farm. We weren't given a whole lot of assets or anything like that. We were just given the opportunity.
Matt and his wife Jana sowed their first seeds on their farm back in 2011. But just a few years later, commodity prices took a nosedive, and Matt was struggling to figure out what was next.
And I remember sitting in my office, and I sold probably half of our wheat for about $2.75. And I just remember having a flood of emotions, knowing that this wasn't sustainable.
That winter, the education ingrained in Matt sent him in search of some educational resources to help, including attending local meetings.
We met a fellow producer by the name of Lee Scheifler and his wife Margaret Scheifler from Sterling. I remember the very first question I asked him, why do you plant your soybeans with an air seeder on 7.5-inch rows? He didn't give me an answer. He said, I'd like to visit with you further.
Set a new plan into motion.
As they were leaving that night, they asked us to take over their farm. And it was such an emotional time for us. Like, holy cow, we just won the lottery.
A transition quickly took shape, from just over 1,000 acres in 2011 to what it is today.
Right now, we're just shy exclusive acres of 7,000 with the anticipation of adding the rest of their acres, and we'll be just shy of 10,000 acres here in the next couple years.
With his wife by his side and daughters Lakin and Landry looking on, Matt and Jana are proving a willingness to learn can grow unexpected opportunity.
So we want them to see hard work and what it takes to have a business, and really involve them as a family, just like we do with our employees and their families.
I think there's a clear distinction between heritage and legacy. You know, heritage is the assets that you can inherit. It's that idea that the ground will be passed on, you know, ownership will be passed on. Legacy, in my opinion, is what you did with it.
An eagerness to learn with a willingness to listen is what's helped Matt Splitter find his golden opportunity.
So Matt, please make your way to the stage. We are so impressed with your focus on relationship and your focus on the future.
So I wrote a book. I'm going to start in chapter 6. Thank you. This is quite an opportunity for us. Thank my wife and kids and mother-in-laws, our farm team, that we're negative 10 degrees back home, which might not be too cold for some of you guys, but they're back home taking care of things. Brady, Darren, Shane, and Dan. I think our crop insurance agent, banker, agronomist, seed and chemical team, and the people that surround us. We were asked to summarize our career. Well, it hasn't been very long, but we have lots of highs, lots of lows, and we're very proud of what we've been able to do with it to this point. And we're just at the very beginning of it. We're very thankful for the foundation that was laid ahead of us. And there's a lot of young farmers, and I've seen a lot here tonight too, that the future is really exciting for us. We're pretty excited about what's going to happen, and we thank Top Producer for the award. And just like I said, we're very, very enthused about what the future holds. There's a lot of great opportunities for us out there. And if I forgot to thank you guys, I sent an email to all my landlords and like that. So thank you guys for sticking with us through all the challenges. And Lee and Margaret, thank you guys. And you else want to say anything? Thank you guys very much.
In case you were wondering, those are new dresses for Lincoln and Landry. They look lovely tonight. So now I have the honor of introducing you to the 2021 Executive Women in Agriculture Trailblazer Award winner. So this award recognizes female producers who are shining examples for her peers, as well as advocates for agriculture who represent innovative farming operations. So applicants were judged on agricultural advocacy, farm business innovation, and industry and community leadership. So the winner received, well, she would have received all expenses paid to here. Unfortunately, her flight was canceled, so she's only with us virtually tonight. But she also gets leadership business or succession planning consulting sessions with Rena Striegel from Transition Point Business Advisors. So we are thankful to partner with Corteva for this award. To share a few awards from Corteva, let's watch this video featuring Jane Bachman, Commercial and North American Communications Leader.
Hello, I'm Jane Bachman, Commercial Communications Leader for Corteva Agriscience. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of the over 20,000 employees that work at Corteva Agriscience to thank you for your participation at the Executive Women in Agriculture Summit as we honor the winner of the Trailblazer Award. Female producers who are selected for this award are shining examples for their peers. Awardees are selected based on agricultural advocacy, farm business innovation, and industry or community leadership. They are strong advocates for agriculture and represent an innovative farming or ranching operation. Corteva launched as an independent company in 2019, focused 100% on agriculture, with a sole purpose, which is to enrich the lives of those who produce and those who consume for generations to come. Corteva is committed to helping farmers succeed through innovative products and services, and like the awardees, we advocate for farmers on key issues, invest in our communities, and promote sustainable farming practices. We value the benefits of different backgrounds and viewpoints, and we are a keen supporter of diversity and inclusion, which is not just about programs or policies we put in place, but rather is rooted in our culture and our identity. That's why we are pleased to honor today's farmers and inspire future generations through sponsorship of the Executive Women in Agriculture Trailblazer Award for the 5th year in a row. Thank you for joining the program to help honor our winners.
So now let me tell you about our winner. On the eastern shore of Maryland, Jenny Schmidt is enjoying her second career. A registered dietitian turned farmer, Jenny now determines the diets of a host of crops. She still uses her nutrition knowledge every day, just in a different biological system. When Jenny married her husband Hans, she became part of the third generation to lead Schmidt Farms, a diversified operation near the Chesapeake Bay. The farm produces green beans, tomatoes, grapes, soybeans, and corn. An appointment in 2015 for Hans created a full-time position for Jenny on the farm. Now she leads the day-to-day operations with her brother-in-law, Alan. The farm is a certified agricultural stewardship for having met the highest standards of nutrient management and conservation initiatives. Sustainability has been a big priority for Schmidt Farms for decades. The family began no-tilling in the early 1960s and were actually featured in a 1965 edition of Farm Journal for their innovation. Today, they also plant cover crops and frequently conduct evaluations and trials to assess economic and environmental impacts. What motivates Jenny is being able to share the benefits of modern agriculture. She's a fantastic communicator and can relate to others as a farmer, a nutritionist, or a mother. She serves on boards and organizations where few women are represented. As Jenny looks forward, her goal is to successfully transfer a profitable, sustainable business to the fourth generation. So now let's travel to Maryland and take a closer look at Schmidt Farms.
Even on a blustery day at Schmidt Farms, you'll find Jennifer Schmidt tucked among her vineyard vines, prepping for next season's harvest along the eastern shore of Maryland.
I'm trying to choose the healthiest looking canes that hopefully will produce the best fruit this year.
Jennifer now operates this third generation farm with her brother-in-law following the appointment of her husband to the role of Assistant Secretary of Agriculture for Resource Conservation by the governor.
Certainly, he's still a very active member on the farm, especially when we're really busy. We do need a third person on a piece of equipment. And I'll sometimes let him drive the combine, but not really.
This fun-loving farmer didn't grow up in agriculture. Jennifer started her career in nutrition and eventually worked her way into a role at the farm.
I was persistent and just always saying, what can I do? How can I help? Let me on a piece of equipment, show me how to run it, and I'll go for it.
Today, she manages the diets of a myriad of crops, from grapes to green beans, tomatoes to tofu soybeans, pyoleic soybeans, and corn. It's a diversified cropping operation.
How much can we add value to each acre? We can't necessarily always get more acres in this area. It's very competitive to rent and to buy.
And the operation has been mostly no-till for decades now, started by her in-laws back in the 1970s.
And a lot of the things that, Dad did back then are some things today we think are some new practices at farming. The strip till was one. Prescribed grazing was another one. The cover crops.
Many of which they're still doing. While only 22 acres, the vineyard has been the biggest value-added venture.
Wine industry has grown from the 12 wineries back in the early 2000s to almost 100 wineries now in state.
and that means opportunity to sell a high-value crop unique to their region. Schmidt even launched her own vineyard management company, spending roughly 6 years helping the industry grow.
When I have to drive out on the road and I pass people, they're often surprised. There's a woman behind the wheel.
She's no longer running the vineyard management company. Instead, she's helping drive the family farm forward.
I would say 10 years from now, I hope of the 4 Schmidt children in the 4th generation, one of them is likely to come back.
As this humble trailblazer,
Oh, it means cutting a path forward to make it easier for those who come next.
leads by example.
You can stop saying, I'm the first woman too. It'd be really nice to be at that point.
Congratulations to Jennifer Schmidt, the 2021 Top Producer Trailblazer Award winner.
Here in Nashville, but we do have a message from her, so we'll hear that now.
Good evening. I'm Jenny Schmidt, and like several others, our travel to Nashville this morning was postponed due to weather. I want to thank Farm Journal and I want to thank Corteva for sponsoring this award and for recognizing the important role that women play in agriculture. I want to thank April Hemies, who was the recipient of this award a couple of years ago, who's been a mentor of mine and who's the person who nominated me for this award. What makes this award special is that I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up in rural Western Massachusetts. Both of my parents were rural carriers for the post office. I met my husband Hans through 4-H. We both participated in the International 4-H Youth Exchange. And as a result, I got to marry into the family farm. Farming isn't my first career. My first career was as a registered dietitian. But as I became more involved in the family operation, I developed a real love for farming. About 20 years ago, left my career as a dietitian to work closer on the family farm. 5 years ago, my husband was asked to serve as an assistant secretary at our Maryland Department of Agriculture. So he's taken the off-farm job, and I've stepped into his role, working full-time with my brother-in-law, Alan, which you can imagine if you were working with your brother for 30 odd years and then you end up working with your sister-in-law, how brave that actually is. So I want to truly thank him for that opportunity for me. I've really gotten a lot more skills from it. I've also gotten more involved in the agriculture industry through commodity groups. One from the Maryland Grape Growers Association, but second, the board position that I was elected to at the Maryland Grain Producers Utilization Board, which is our checkoff board, and became their first female board member and then their first female president. I've also become more involved through that with U.S. Grains Council and serving on the nominating committee for national corn growers. So it's been a real honor for me to become more involved and take on leadership roles, and then to be recognized for that through this award. And I want to thank you very much for that opportunity.
Jenny is watching tonight, so let's give her a big round of applause. So now we will transition into our Top Producer of the Year award ceremony. So finalists for this award represent the best in the business of farming. Since 2000, we've honored 3 operations each year, and I'm really excited for you to meet tonight's finalist. The judges and I carefully assessed the nominations we received and arrived at our 3 finalists here tonight. We judged the applications based on entrepreneurial originality, financial and business progress, and industry and community leadership. This is not an award about size or scope. Instead, it focuses on professionalism, sophistication, and innovation within our great industry. Our judging panel was incredibly inspired by the determination, passion, and creativity of these producers. Our judges this year included yours truly, Paul Neefer, a CPA and columnist for Top Producer, Mark Faust, an author and columnist for the Farm Journal family, as well as Christian Hebert, the 2021 Top Producer of the Year winner. This is not an easy job. All of the judges were extremely impressed and had a very hard time choosing. So thank you to our panel for their help in arriving at our winner tonight. So not only is this experience an honor, but the finalists and winners received some pretty fantastic prizes. So the winner tonight will receive a 6-month lease of a Case IH tractor. We'll hear more about that soon, as well as CEO coaching with Sarah Beth Aubrey, courtesy of BASF. So speaking of our sponsors, let's recognize them. So first up is BASF, which is a returning sponsor to the Top Producer of the Year award. Providing a video message tonight is Scott Kay, Vice President of U.S. Crop with BASF.
Good evening. I'm Scott Kay, Vice President of U.S. Crop Protection at BASF. Thank you for having us here, and my apologies for not being in person. But I do wish everyone here the best of luck in the announcement and determination of both the finalists. You did a great job this year, but the award winner as well. So congratulations to all, and you must be very proud. At BASF, we're also very proud. We're proud that farming is considered an essential part of what we do. And in these changing times, I think we all felt that together. And so, in 2021, we're going to continue to be together, because at BASF, we are also continue to invest in your future. And we know that we have the top producers in the room tonight, but also virtually watching tonight. And they want to learn something new about what are people doing? What could I do different to make my farming operation better? And BASF also thinks about that every day with both seed treatment, crop protection, and more. And by more, I mean BASF continues to invest in digital options that are going to make your farming practices better, more efficient. And so at BASF, we're very proud. We invest some $3 million in research and development every day that you wake up. And because we are just determined as you to make the future better. And so, again, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I hope you accept my apology for not being there in person. But I also wanted to share with you something that I think you'll find interesting. As you make your final decisions for 2021, we've provided a new tool called GrowSmart Advantage. And you can find it at growsmartadvantage.com. And what it really does is helps you make some decisions, because I know that it's a very competitive marketplace, and we enjoy that. But also there's decisions to be made that have a big impact on your farm. Not the impact from a rebate, but the impact of value that you find in your combine. And we think that yield and that determines the overall value on your farm. So hope you enjoy this video. Have a great night.
Two farms, two farmers. Same crop, but two different outcomes. This farmer decided to save himself some money. He signed up for a herbicide rebate program that would pay him big dividends at the end of the year. This farmer decided to do a little research first. With BASF's new GrowSmart Advantage tool, he looked into what kind of results he could expect under different conditions. This calculator is an online tool that lets you compare crops, seed, herbicides, amounts, you name it. You can drill down pretty far with this thing. Far enough to see where your real value is. Far enough to find the right path forward. For anyone who values real agronomic knowledge over vague promises, this tool helps you make informed decisions and maximize your productivity. So, when you see these two farms, you can see what a little calculation will do for you. But this farmer, he's still got that big rebate check, right? Well, it wasn't quite as big as he expected. What he gained from the rebate, he lost in the quality and performance of his crop. GrowSmart Advantage. Real value, real rewards, real useful. And only from BASF. We create chemistry.
So next up, we again are excited to partner with Case IH on the Top Producer of the Year award. So with a video message for us tonight is Joe Miller, Case IH Regional Sales Director. So let's hear a few words from Joe.
I don't turn this on and off, or wake up and say, this is who I am today. I just am. I've always been, no matter where I'm at, or what I'm doing. I'm always a farmer.
Case IH, built by farmers.
Good evening, everyone, from here in Rochester, Indiana. I would have preferred to be there in person and take in the summit, but the weather had other plans. I want to start off by thanking and congratulating the team at Farm Journal Media for making this event happen. Now, more than ever, and after a year like 2020, it's so valuable and important to have this opportunity to learn from each other. The theme for this year's Top Producer Summit is Breaking New Ground, and that's exactly what we in this industry have done to overcome the year's challenges and keep feeding and fueling the world. Producers have continued to show their resilience and resourcefulness because farming never stops. It's through conversations with you all that we at Case IH learn what today's producers need from their equipment and technology to be productive and make a difference. We are tremendously proud of the opportunity to annually recognize some of the most highly productive and efficient farms across the country, those who overcome tough obstacles to get to where they are. To formally recognize those deserving operations, we continue to serve as the presenting sponsor of the prestigious Top Producer of the Year award. I come from a family farm here in northern Indiana. At Case IH, our employees, dealers, and their families farm millions of acres across North America. It's producers who design, engineer, and build Case IH equipment, so we understand and experience the challenges today's producers face firsthand. We know that to succeed, it's about looking at all aspects of your operation, from every seed to every inch of land, to how your equipment works together and uses the latest technology. Small improvements and efficiencies can make a big difference. As for the 2021 Top Producer of the Year, we are once again pleased to provide the use of a brand new Case IH AFS Connect Steiger Quad Track Series tractor for 150 hours to the winner. Steiger tractors have powered successful operations worldwide for more than 60 years. We hope this award will help the producers work productively and more efficiently with the industry-leading track technology that Case IH is known for. On behalf of everyone at Case IH, I'd like to extend my most sincere congratulations to all of the Top Producer of the Year finalists. And I want to wish you and your families continued success and a safe and profitable 2021. Thank you all very much.
We really appreciate our being able to partner with such companies. So now I'm excited to introduce you to tonight's 3 finalists. So you'll be able to learn about their operations more in upcoming issues of Top Producer, as each farmer will be featured on a cover of our magazine. So to start our journey tonight, we're gonna go from east to west. So that leaves us to start in Nevada, Iowa. Every decision on Longview Farms is made with one eye on the future and respect for the past. In Nevada, Iowa, Steve and Lori Henry and their sons, Scott and Eric, are carrying on a long-standing family legacy. In 1988, Steve began farming 255 acres of his family's land. In 1993, when he assumed complete responsibility for the operation, when his father retired. Experience taught Steve that continual growth, both in scope and scale, is a key success in farming. Steve and Lori set a goal to better understand their financial positions. Accrual accounting and understanding costs became a passion, which drives all of their business decisions today. Now, the operation includes 10,000 acres of corn and soybeans, as well as hog and cattle enterprises. They are finding ways to diversify while keeping their competitive advantages for their core businesses. As one of their business advisors says, their approach to growth is creative, thoughtful, and disciplined. Perhaps what Steve and Lori are most proud of is the opportunity to work professionally with 2 of their sons. Scott and Eric have leadership roles for their team, which includes 6 full-time employees as well as a large seasonal team. The Longview team sets goals each year, but here are just a few of their constant focuses. They practice delayed gratification to help them save for future investments. They work to ensure the farm's continuous growth provides opportunities for family members, and they have integrity in all they do. So now let's take a trip to Iowa to visit Longview Farms.
Winter at Longview Farms in Nevada, Iowa is the perfect time for planning next season.
When I use the word sustainable, I mean you have to keep your revenues going at least as fast as your expenses are growing. So the definition for sustainability is can I be here again next year?
Together with his wife Lori and sons Scott and Eric, Steve Henry and team have built a sustainable business that now stretches across 10,000 acres and a couple of livestock feeding ventures.
One of the things I learned through my career before I came back to the farm was the importance of understanding the finances of the farm.
Steve and Lori came back to the operation in 1988 after a short stint working in ag lending in Nebraska.
It came together for us. We came back, we were excited. It was a way to think about starting a family. I was able to work off the farm as Steve and his dad were starting to work together.
I got to see so many different models of success, and I was also able to see things that didn't necessarily turn out the way that those farmers wanted to do, and it was just an opportunity to grow.
And grow they have. In 2012, the farm was renamed Longview, and in 2017, they completed their transition plan, adding sons Scott and Eric as partners.
It allows Scott and Eric to have more of an impact on the decision makings while they're still in their late 20s, as opposed to waiting until mom and dad die.
That ownership is key because ultimately, you know, it's not just something that's given, it's something that's also earned. And one of the things that I'll give my parents a ton of credit for is they've always said, we want the next generation to feel a part of what we're doing and that their opinion is valued.
I'm very excited that we have a good culture now that I think will be really attractive to others as we go out and try to create that team around Scott and I that we think we can go out and succeed in, whether that's corn and beans or something different. I think we've enjoyed diversifying here.
Today, as the operation plans for the future, previous models built on land acquisition are transitioning in search of added value.
We need to be looking beyond agriculture and how can we be sustainable in a period where Iowa may not always be corn and beans.
I've really focused on how can we continue to not only grow in acreage, but diversify in just the business elements of what we're doing.
New areas of leadership for both the business and their community.
I don't think just about what the Henry family does for the community of Nevada or Story County, but I also think about what are our team members doing or able to do. And part of that is making sure that they're compensated in a way that they feel like they have the capacity to do some of that themselves.
As the planning continues for 2021 and beyond.
It's scary almost looking forward as fast as agriculture is changing. You know, will I walk in the shop and there'll be little robots running around?
The next 5 years are already stacking up to be different.
And Lori and I are no longer the majority owners, and Scott and Eric will have the leadership of it.
As Longview Farms takes a long look at the future.
The mantra of our business, Longview Farms, is honoring the past, stewarding the present, and looking to the future.
Congratulations to the Henry family and Longview Farms, a finalist for the 2021 Top Producer of the Year.
So, Scott and Eric, please join me on the stage so we can honor your family's legacy.
You know, so many of the operations that have won this award in the past and the other finalists tonight,
You read about them and you meet them in person at events like this, and it's incredibly humbling. Unfortunately, my parents aren't able to join us. They, like many others, had weather complications in their travel, but Eric and I made the smart decision to spend an extra night in Nashville, so I think we get the best of it all. But no, this just being honored as a finalist is truly humbling. Thank you to Farm Journal, BASF, Case IH for sponsoring this. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the generations of Henry family members that came before Eric and I. And so to the extent that we can honor them tonight, we want to do that, as well as specifically Cal McFadden. He's our operations manager now. He's actually been with our farm for 37 years. He's actually been there longer than my dad or Eric or I or my mom. And so his legacy with our farm is very synonymous with our family. And so specifically wanted to thank him, as well as the rest of the team members at Longview Farms and all of our landowners and other partners. But no, this is incredibly humbling, and thank you so much.
Congratulations again. So now as we head west, we're headed to Salina, Kansas. So Bill Kame knows the equation for business success is to try new ideas while sticking to your core values. On his diversified operation in Salina, Bill has seen dramatic growth in size and sophistication since it started back in the late 1800s. When Bill returned to the family business in 1991, the farm was just barely hanging on. Luckily, the Freedom to Farm bill passed, and Bill and his family could cut their wheat acres in half and start growing new crops. This allowed the operation to become profitable and efficient with both machinery and labor. In the last decade, Kame Farms has doubled in size to reach today's 12,000 acres of wheat, grain sorghum, soybeans, and alfalfa. The operation also includes cattle and a trucking company. Bill is a numbers guy. In the last 30 years, he has focused on key financial metrics, which he uses as a basis for his grain marketing decisions as well as business strategy. In fact, he has a spreadsheet that tracks each expense category going back over 20 years. The farm also switched production methods to incorporate no-till, reducing cost and improving the operation's soil health. For the team, which includes 5 full-time and 6 part-time employees, Bill sees low turnover. He is excited about the future of the farm, which now includes 2 of his sons and 2 of his nephews. This expanded team brings a lot of energy and ideas to the operation. So now, let's travel to Kansas and visit Kame Farms.
My great-grandfather and my great-grandmother, he came from England when he was like 8 years old.
This Kansas farm's past is plastered in pictures. Bill Kame is no stranger to reviving resources and making the most of every acre.
We've tried to become really professional in what we do. 10 years ago, we were about 6,000 acres. Today, we're a little over 12.
Kame says doubling his acres wasn't always the plan. Instead, he took a very disciplined approach, which starts with a farm's 5-year rotation. From row crops to cattle,
we have made a lot of adjustments to our cow-calf operation,
including deciding to calve in May and June. However, this discipline is rooted in more than just what they grow and raise.
Well, I think one of our competitive advantages is having these younger guys coming back to the farm, got new ideas, guys that are really good with technology.
That focus is also being accelerated by Bill's son, Cody, recently returning to the family farm and already finding his fit.
My mom and my sister own the farm with me. My mom doesn't really do much on the farm anymore. But my sister, Darcy, is our office manager. She does all the books and everything.
A strong family bond, and one that's withstood growing challenges.
My husband died of ALS, and my youngest son has MS, and he's gotten bad enough that he had to go to the nursing home. And so that's been a very challenging part of our lives.
I'd have to say, losing Dad and Chad were probably biggest challenges for us. Buying Chad out and losing the two of them was probably the hardest.
While family tragedy may have changed the faces of this farm, it didn't change the farm's DNA. The Kames continue to adopt better practices while never losing sight of what matters most.
But I would just like us to be remembered as a good family, take care of ourselves and those around us.
A priority for Bill Kame, and one of which his dad would approve.
He'd be proud. This was always kind of his dream.
I am extremely proud. Bill has taken over so well after his dad died. And Darcy couldn't have done it without her too. I think Bill would be lost without her.
And while the seasons come and go in central Kansas, the Kames are proof that family is forever. Congratulations to Bill Kame and the Kame family, a finalist for the 2021 Top Producer of the Year.
So, Bill, please join me on stage, and congratulations on creating an operation that attracts the next generation back home.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I'm truly honored to be a finalist for the Top Producer of the Year award. I've read about these amazing farms in Top Producer magazine for many years. I never imagined that our farm would be up for this award someday. There's been a lot of people through the years that I'd like to thank for the success we've had. I want to thank my mom for the sacrifices that she and my dad made to keep the farm going. I want to thank my brother Chad. I wish you were standing here with me, that your determination and positive attitude are an inspiration for all of us. My sister Darcy, I'm glad you came back to the farm. I couldn't have done this without you. My wife Lori, thank you for believing in me. I know it hasn't been easy. Our agronomist Aaron Phelps, thank you for helping me change the way we farm. Our operations manager Stephen Grote, for keeping the farm moving while I focus on other areas of our operation. Our shop specialist and landowner, Kevin Johnson, for giving us a great opportunity. Your experience is invaluable for our young team. Our part-time and seasonal employees who are always there when we need them. My kids and my nephews, I'm extremely proud of you guys and the fact that you have or are planning on coming back to the farm. Your new ideas and fresh perspective will continue to improve our operation. I'd like to thank our landowners who have given us the opportunity to grow our farm. Our bankers for helping us grow our operation and teaching me along the way. Our farm management advisor for helping me understand our financial statements and talking through our farm management strategies. Without these people, our farm would not be the success that it is today. Thank you.
Congratulations again to the Kame Farms team. So now on our final stop, we are headed west to Gettysburg, South Dakota, where we meet Zach and Kelsey Ducheneau. The father-daughter team lead a multi-generational operation that is undergoing a transformation driven by consumer demand and regenerative agriculture. Established in the 1930s, the DX Ranch began with beef cattle and draft horses. Today, it includes quarter horses and a direct-to-consumer grass-finished beef operation. Their mission is simple: provide beef that is local, nutritious, and improves their communities. This new business focus is helping the team move away from being a victim of the commodity markets. It's also helping them use the diverse skill set of the more than 20 ranch residents. In 2020, for the first time ever, the operation sold more beef in the box than it did on the hoof. Their buyers include fellow residents of the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. Kelsey and Zach view their business as a way to reduce their area's food desert. The hurdles of small-scale direct marketing are difficult to overcome. Yet Kelsey is seeing great success thanks to her marketing and organizational skills. Through storytelling, which is rooted in their Lakota culture, Kelsey and Zach use technology to share the story of their ranch and their products. Zach and Kelsey see this business diversification and vertical integration as the path forward for their team and family. Looking forward, they hope that this business will continue to grow and they can contract with neighboring ranchers to market their animals. So now let's take a trip to DX Ranch in South Dakota.
Our focus is in letting Mother Nature do her job, try to find a way that we can leave the resource better than we found it.
That's evident at the DX Ranch, located on the Cheyenne River Sioux Indian Reservation in north central South Dakota. Kelsey and her father, Zach Ducheneau, and their entire family raise quarter horses and 250 head of beef cows in a regenerative production system.
We've really focused on ensuring that we're not just thinking about the livestock above ground, but we're also thinking about the livestock below ground.
That's helped them produce high-quality cattle for 4 generations now. But they realized they weren't getting the true value by selling their cattle like a commodity at the sale barn.
Our entire year's livelihood depends on 3 people in that damn building. And if that buyer doesn't have a good day, he's not going to make the next bid. And it just drove home the point that we've got to try to find a way to do something different than that.
That was the birth of DX Beef, a direct-to-consumer business featuring their 100% grass-fed beef. Zach says they're capturing a larger share of the food dollar by selling more beef in the box last year than live at auction. Cattle, which last January brought $950 per head.
Any of those steers that we're able to keep and sell in the meat next year are going to sell for around $2,500, $2,600 a head.
From 2019 to 2020, we saw a 1,300% increase in our sales.
And that was during the pandemic. However, profitability isn't the main goal with DX Beef or the DX Ranch.
Our focus is being able to provide a quality product to the local community.
Family comes before the dollar in this operation. We're not solely about monetizing the value of that product. We realize there's other values to our beef.
DX Beef sales are primarily internet-based, and they're committed to keeping costs low for food-insecure families on the reservation. That's accomplished in part by leasing and properly managing 7,000 acres of tribal land.
We are going to price this meat affordably to our community members, because without them and without the ability to affordably use tribal resources, we wouldn't be able to do this.
However, reasonable processing costs and family support also help.
They believe in the mission of figuring out a way to heal our food system, and they contribute and they pitch in wherever, that's a big part of being able to keep the cost low.
The holistic model keeps them from having to expand like many other operations, so they can continue to refine their system to again double production.
As we continue to enhance our market for our beef, be able to transition to a more refined number of our highest producing beef cows, that would allow us to keep 100% of our calf crop back home to be able to market in the form of beef as a 2-year-old.
And Kelsey says that will help them continue to connect to consumers and their community in the future.
And that's really what drives me, is finding a way to help others and to feed others. That's the goal with DX Beef.
Congratulations to Kelsey and Zach Ducheneau, a finalist for the 2021 Top Producer of the Year.
So congratulations, Zach. If you'd please join me on stage. Congratulations on keeping a focus on your community and culture.
Good evening, and thank you everybody for your time and attention. Thank you for producing. Thank you for consuming. Man, they did such a great job with that video. There's not a lot to add, but I do want to talk a little bit about trust and a little more about community and family, because Kelsey and I have the good fortune of being out there in front of this, and none of it would be possible without this crew that's sitting over here and the folks that are at home taking care of things right now. So we really want to thank everybody that's supporting all of the producers out here in this crowd and in the country. The other day we had a chance to get interviewed for this final event, and got on the Zoom call there a little sooner than others because we're getting a lot of practice at that. And the gentleman said, well, you must be nervous. You're the last one. The pressure's on. I said, the pressure isn't on. They don't have a Kelsey. And they ain't got this crew of people over here. But they do. Everybody's got that. And we're all very proud of that. But we are absolutely a family operation. You know, whenever I get to do something big like this, I make sure I wear this shirt and this vest. These were my dad's. And we're really, like everybody else, trying to stay true to that legacy. One of the things that would have made him proudest of us today is not necessarily being considered for the top producer of the year, although that would kind of blow his mind. He would be glad that his children are still each other's best friends, because he really stressed that we're family and that's got to come first. And the fact that they all trust Kelsey and I to go out here and do this is, it warms my heart every time I think about it. And they don't get near enough credit. But I want to thank a couple other folks, Sam Hurst and Tricia Beal, for nominating us. And I want to thank the good hotel staff for feeding us and getting our bellies full. And thank you to Sarah and the crew at Farm Journal for setting the stage for a really nice event. And I look forward to getting to know some of you a little better down the road, and look forward to a time when we can have these conferences like they're supposed to, without masks and with handshakes. Thank you very much.
I'll get it. So congratulations again. As you can see, these three operations all have wonderful stories to tell and so much to be proud of. Although it sounds cliche, just being nominated and considered as a finalist really is a notable honor. Before I announce the winner, I would like you all to consider applying for any of our three awards in the future. I'm sure that some of next year's finalists and honorees are sitting in this room or listening at home. So now, I'll introduce the winner. The 2021 Top Producer of the Year winner is Longview Farms.
Well, like we said earlier, we're just truly humbled to be considered a finalist, and we really are standing on the shoulders of the previous generations of the Long and Henry families. So once again, thank you to the sponsors and the Farm Journal, and thank you to our crew back home. Thank you.
Well, congratulations again to all of our winners tonight. What a wonderful night to celebrate agriculture. So that is it for our program tonight. Thank you all for joining us here tonight and for joining us virtually. Congratulations again.